This game is good. Hey everybody, Fred5107 here, bringing you another sick Dragon Ball FighterZ video. To all three of my fans still watching this video, I've got something else planned that should hopefully be done and uploaded within the next decade. In the meantime, here's a little video to hold you over. I'm going to be ranking all the level 3 supers in Dragon Ball FighterZ as of the completion of the first season of DLC. Doing this because I like this game a lot, and I thought this would be a fun way to discuss the game. Few rules to lay out for this ranking. This video is in no way an objective or definitive ranking of the supers. Things like damage output and viability and competitive play won't be the main focus of this list. This is all based on my personal preference. Basically, this video is going to devolve into me saying, this super looks really cool, this one doesn't, etc. As you can tell, I really thought this one through. Lastly, just gotta emphasize that this all just comes down to my personal opinion. If you disagree, that's totally fine by me. Seriously. Starting off with my least favorite would be Golden Frieza. I like the idea of an install super, spending meter to get a temporary buff. I just don't like the way Golden Frieza looks, at all. Also, I haven't watched Dragon Ball Super. This move is actually called Sweet Tooth, but I like to call it Big Vor. Even though it's the second lowest on this list, I kind of admire this super for a specific reason. One time when playing fighters against a buddy of mine who had number 21 on his team, after he landed this move, I said, "Hey, Vor me up." Our friend Brandon interjected with, "What's Vor?" when this guy, who up until this point I had a bit of a rocky relationship with, said with me in unison, "Vor is Android 21. So while this super does get some credit for forging a small friendship between me and someone I didn't really get along with previously, it's just okay. Also, it's just kinda weird and gross. Never really got the hype behind the Final Flash. It's a big-ass beam, not all that special. I like Vegeta's voice, so I guess that's why I give it a pass. Also, he's on my team, so I see this move a lot. Maybe that's why it just doesn't do it for me. Another big-ass beam, not really unique in Dragon Ball FighterZ. I do like how the super changes depending on what teammates you have though. If Goku is on your team, all three members of the Son family come together. If Gotenks is on your team, Gohan goes solo. Nice touch, the super is still just alright. So this one's got a cool activation. Hold heavy and special while you're down on the ground and Frieza will do this move with the stupid name. I can see this potentially being good at punishing overly aggressive players. Otherwise, I don't really get how this one's useful. I don't play Frieza, and I haven't fought many Friezas, so maybe this move is godlike and I'm just stupid. Either way, it just looks alright. Majin Buu, or Kid Buu as this particular form is sometimes called, just blows up the planet. That's what he's supposed to do, but even if you kill with this move, the battle just continues on like normal, on the same stage. A not planet-bursting planet burst doesn't sound great, but it's still pretty nice looking. A subtle but nice touch is the animation of him regenerating after the move finishes. I read somewhere that this thing is called Kaku-sandan, but I'm not saying that. Even someone as pretentious as me can't be bothered to say that. While the arc that this move comes from is one of my favorites in all of Dragon Ball, this move is just alright. I like the perspective change halfway through this move, which actually happens even if the opponent blocks. This makes this move pretty unique and also kinda hard to punish on block. Not impossible, though. The absurdly named Solar System Destroying Kamehameha, shortened to just Solar Kamehameha, sounds completely insane and wild, and it's just another big beam. Again, not all that impressive. I do like the way the camera dramatically zooms out, though, and Cell is also just really cool. Genki Detsu Kodan! Fancy. I'm pretty sure it actually just means light grenade, so the dubbing company didn't fuck up for once. You know, my favorite Dragon Ball character ever is Utaru. I mean, Piccolo. Obscure references aside, my favorite character's level 3 is... it's alright. It's good, but I feel like my boy Piccolo deserves better. I honestly think his level 1, the Makanko Sapo, is more hype. I would have liked to see that thing he does in the first arc he's introduced where he charges and releases a ton of energy resulting in a big-ass explosion. Instead we got this, and it's alright. Goku goes Super Saiyan 3, or Super Saiyan 3 as it's pronounced in the dub. I honestly think Super Saiyan 3 is stupid as hell. Like, why doesn't he have eyebrows? Sure, Toriyama probably explained it in some interview somewhere, but I don't care, it just looks dumb. Despite the fact that I really don't care for Super Saiyan 3, this Super is just really hype. Number 17's Level 3 was given the incredibly unique and memorable name of Super Electric Strike. I don't know what this move is originally called, cause I don't watch Super and I don't give a shit. The move is a little boring, but I like the animation of number 17 charging it. Also, whenever he pops this move off, he screeches the loudest screech he's ever screeched, and I think that's pretty hype. Carter Daddy! The first level 5 on this list, Gohan fires a giant Kamehameha and then Papa Goku comes in to help him. This thing does an absurd amount of damage and also does 100 hits, which is pretty awesome. I don't really care for this part in the story, the Cell arc, but it's hard not to get hype over this Super. This Super is basically just a meme at this point. Bardock is my main, so perhaps I'm just way too used to this one. Also, it's based on that fucking stupid OVA from some piece of shit card game in Japan I'm never gonna fucking play, so it loses points for that. At the same time though, all the moves based on the good Bardock special were already used for his level 1s, and I like the way those were implemented. Despite my gripes, this thing does look pretty nice. You gotta love the voice actor. This version of the Final Flash is definitely an improvement. Another level 5, Vegeta does the Final Flash and then punches through it. Neat! I don't really know that I'm feeling this color palette though. Yellow, blue, and orange. I feel like they picked the worst colors. I think making it blue or purple or red or any other color that isn't yellow would look nicer. That's more Dragon Ball Super's fault than Dragon Ball FighterZ fault though, so I suppose I can't get too upset. It's hype, and I can squeeze it into a touch of death. The main reason why you should avoid the English dub of this game, and honestly this series at all costs, is this character. Majin Buu's Candy Beam, which probably should be called Cookie Beam, is pretty good. The move itself doesn't do too much damage, and the projectile is slow, but I like the way it restores some of your health, and also how there are unique cookies for every character you use the move on. Sayonara Tensa! For his first level 3, Tenshinhan, or Tien as he is referred to in the dub, stops to witness his best friend, Chaozu, appear and kill himself ISIS style. This move is actually kind of hilarious in my opinion. The fact that one of Tenshinhan's attacks is his best friend appearing and killing himself. This move isn't really all that hype by itself, Chaozu just appears and dies, but the massive chunk of damage this move takes out more than makes up for it. This thing does 2100 damage when fully stale. I have unexpectedly taken so many games with this move, trying to hold back my laughter as it kills way earlier than I expected to. Oh yeah, Tenshinhan is my secondary character, so there's my team in case you were curious. Vegito, Final Kamehameha. I don't like fusions, I think they're kind of stupid, and not the good kind of stupid. However, this thing is awesome. I love the brief flash of Goku and Vegeta before the move comes out. Also, Vegito sounds really cool. Don't like fusions personally, but I don't really think you could go wrong with this one. It's pretty sick. It's fucking Beedus. The screen goes black, Beers grabs you, kisses you, and flicks you across the screen. There's something really cathartic about this move, the way he casually flicks you as the sound blows out your ears and the screen violently shakes. Also, if you use this move to kill Goku Black or Zamasu, it becomes a Hakai, and he just erases them from existence, which is just fantastic. The damage isn't spectacular, but it covers the entire screen, and Zamasu's voice is just the best. No clue what he's saying since I don't speak Japanese, but whatever it is, it sounds cool. I want to again state that if you don't agree with me, that's totally fine. I don't think you're any less human for disagreeing with what I have to say. If you like Wrath of Cortex on PS2, that's totally fine. And if you like this character, that's totally fine. I say all this because Gotenks, in my eyes, wins the prize for the fucking worst character design I've ever seen in any anime ever. Despite the fact that this character looks dumb as shit, the super is excellent. The projectile moves ridiculously fast, so it's hard to miss this move. I love the over-the-top manner in which he just spikes you into the ground. Also, if Piccolo is on your team, it changes the animation of one of the hits, which is pretty wholesome. I honestly hate Gotenks, but I can't get mad at this super. At all. At number 17, we have number 18 doing her Microsoft Excel dance. I appreciate this move for how unassuming it is. Look at the initial hits and you say, oh, this doesn't look so bad, and then I just like this one a lot. I like the way number 17 goes. I also like how having Kuririn on your team changes the animation. I'll freely admit that I'm a sucker for that sort of thing. Now this is the number 21 super I like. I love the red and black color palette. It makes her stand out from everyone else who just fires big yellow and blue beams. I like how she tackles you to the ground and then blasts you in the face. It's pretty hot. Also, it's relatively easy to combo into, does a fair amount of damage, and sets you up with a nice hard knockdown. I love Saiyan Arc Vegeta. After this arc he hit a high halfway through the Frieza arc, and then after that he became a pussy. People are angry to see Dragon Ball Super's Vegeta act like a bitch when they forgot how he spent the entirety of the Cell and Buu arcs whining. Not that any of this matters though, since even if I didn't like this character, this super is just awesome. I especially love how this move goes together with his grab. It makes the move a bit easier to land and also zooms out the camera, which looks awesome. I also like the way Vegeta yells every time he does the move. Number 16, not having a legion of Chaozus at his disposal, takes it upon himself to go ISIS on his opponent. This move is more just for laughs or the incredibly situational punish. This move was good at catching people when the game came out, but now most people know to just jump over it. Also, unlike some other command grab supers, you can't reliably trap people with it. There's also no way to combo into this thing, at all, which I guess makes sense since it does 50,000 damage for some reason. No clue why this thing does that much since you only have 10,000 health in this game. I think it might have been to give the opponent 7 bars since you gain meter for both dealing damage and taking damage. I think that further states that this move is just for show since now you've got no health and you're kinda fucked since you gave your opponent 7 bars. Still, all this doesn't make the move any less exciting when it lands. Kula is cool, and so is the super. I like the unique activation. In the air it's a command grab, on the ground it's a stance that functions like a counter. No matter how you activate the move, it leads to the same end result. Some kicks, a close-up on Kula's face, and a giant fireball that deals some pretty great damage. And it also just looks really cool, a common theme with this game. I like to make fun of the English dub, but I gotta give them credit. In the English dub, Trunks lets out a very direct, "You need to be stopped," every time you do this move. In Japanese, he says something equally edgy, something that translates to, "I won't let you do what you want anymore," according to some guy I asked on Facebook. This thing does a ton of damage, more than your normal super. It's another command grab, but it's possible to trap people with this. Pretty impressive considering the insane damage output. I also love the way this thing looks upon a destructive finish. Nappa punches you and burps on you. I love the use of the camera, looking at him from a low angle as his chest gets gigantic before he quickly moves just to show his face, before he fires the beam out of his mouth. People fire beams through their hands a lot, but not many fire from their mouth. In fact, the only other character that comes to mind that fires from their mouth is Piccolo. And Nappa's the only one that does in this game. Oh, well, there is Gotenks, but fuck Gotenks, and fuck anybody I accidentally forgot to include in this list of people that fire beams from their mouths. This thing also does a decent amount of damage and is relatively easy to combo into. Like number 16's Self-Destruct, I think this one is more for fun than anything else. Unlike 16's, however, it's actually possible to combo into this move. Granted, it's very situational. If you do happen to land this move, you swap health bars with your opponent, and your opponent, now in control of Ginyu, doesn't have access to any other members of the Ginyu Special Forces. Also, they probably don't know how to play Ginyu, since most people don't, including me. I think this one looks fantastic and is incredibly hype. I like the way the bodies are switched and the camera zooms in on the horrified facial expression of the poor soul in Ginyu's body. Much like number 17, Frieza screeches the loudest screech he's ever screeched when doing this move, which is always pleasant to hear. In addition to just doing a ton of damage, it looks really cool. Couldn't pin down exactly why, but something about this move is just incredibly satisfying. Satisfying to land and satisfying to look at. Also, it's one of the only overhead supers. If you block low, you'll get hit. Enjoy finding someone that doesn't know this and surprising them. I have 8 terminal diseases, and coming in at number 8 is Broly's gigantic meteor. The effect of the green light shining through his hands looks awesome, and also the big ball he shoots out looks awesome. It just looks awesome. I like the color green, don't ask me why. There are 2 ways of performing this move. By pressing light and medium, Broly shoots out a ball that immediately connects with the opponent. What makes this super great is the second activation, however. By pressing heavy and special, he fires a ball with slightly delayed timing. This one does much more damage, and you can continue combos after landing this move. Its delayed timing makes it harder to combo into, but the extra damage and combo potential makes it amazing for 100% combos. Speaking of big, succulent, thick balls, Goku's Super Genki Dama. It's called Spirit Bomb in the dub, but I'm not calling it that. Genki Dama. Dalai Lama. Unless your opponent lets you gather Genki for free, or you happen to have the right characters on your team, the only way you're landing this move is if the opponent decides to super dash towards you completely unobstructed in open space, which isn't a good idea. The fact that this thing is so hard to land is what makes it so satisfying though. The reward is a hefty amount of damage and a ton of hits. Shin Kikoho. This move is fucking awesome. The only level 7 in the game, it deals a massive amount of damage at the cost of unrecoverable health. This already great move was made even better by a buff Tenshinhan got in a patch a while ago. While in Sparking Blast, the amount of self-damage is greatly reduced. Why do I love this thing? It's one of the best ingredients for making a 100% combo. It's also incredibly easy to land since Tenshinhan will teleport above the stage every time he does this move. The move itself is just intense too. Each hit of the Kikoho causes the screen to shake violently and the ground underneath erupts. It's seriously awesome. True Fist of the Wolfang Gale, or Shinroga Fufuken, is the Roga Fufuken on steroids. This move goes together with his level 1, the Sokidan, quite nicely. The sounds the super makes are something else. The wolf's howl, as well as Yamcha's voice, it all just comes together to create this monstrosity. I love it. This is another reason why you should really avoid the dub, as Yamcha's passionate yell at the end is replaced by an incredibly awkward "Awoo!" Oh, and also the hitbox is gigantic. You know, I don't have much to say about this one. Just watch it again. The best level 5 in this game, Goku's Kaioken times 10 Kamehameha. This is what Vegeta's level 5 should have looked like. The red and blue color palette is amazing. Between Goku letting out this cry of Kaioken and the animation of him appearing at the end is just too much hype to bear. The super itself isn't actually all that good with its pitiful range and the fact that it must be performed on the ground, but it looks fucking sick and that's all that matters. Oh, also this thing does some pretty good damage. Gotta emphasize, I've watched about 5 minutes of Dragon Ball Super collectively. It sucks. Hit? No idea who he is. The super? Goddamn, boy. Time just stops as Hit rapidly teleports all over the screen. These purple streaks appear, frozen in place. The hits rack up like crazy until Hit reappears to deal one last blow, and then he just looks away. This just makes Hit a cool character. For all I know, Hit could be the biggest bitch of a character, and this super makes it all worth it. Oh yeah, and this move broke the game that one time. That was funny. Without question, the best super in the game, in my opinion. Why? It looks awesome, it deals good damage, and it works from basically anywhere. On the ground, in the air, high, low, in, out, in the rain or in the snow, got the funky flow, we can plant a house, we can build a tree. This level 3 makes my dick hard. Goku Black opens a Sky Giant and clones of him appear to do damage, only for them to knock you back down to the ground where this happened. Also, that's something that's actually just great about this super. No matter where on the screen you perform the move, it brings you both back down to the ground. Again, I've never seen Dragon Ball Super, and I don't give a shit. This super just looks fantastic. And that's that. Well, thanks for watching the video, everybody, and as always, I'm retarded.